because we have Todd Johnson, the head coach of the Columbiana Clippers boys basketball team, joining us on ysnlive.com. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You are welcome.
Coach, I wanted to start off my questions with this. Looking at your team last year and what they were able to accomplish, I don't think the record speaks for how competitive a lot of those games were. And you look at those scores, I think your boys were in it for a majority of those games. So looking at it and looking what you're bringing back, kind of name some of those guys that are going to be the big playmakers for this team this year that is going to kind of help you turn some of those losses, those close losses, into wins this year.
Yeah, we competed well last year for the most part, especially with the year before. We had a very successful season. We had 8 seniors, and so moving towards last year, we needed to get some of that experience, and we did. A lot of our younger boys got great experience. Beginning of the year, we struggled a bit, but we picked it up towards the end, and we competed well. Coming back this year for us, Nick Million is someone who's going to, jump off the page to start. He was our leading scorer last year, leading rebounder. Also joining him are seniors Ashton Kakavros, Carter Murphy, and Tony Cassanier. And then some of our sophomores as well, who also got some valuable experience. Anthony Hall, who ended up starting a lot of games for us as a freshman, along with Devin Doherty and Alex Eusebio.
Coach, as you go through all those names, I hear a lot of young players that got valuable experience last year. Talk about how important it is last season. Of course, you go through some growing pains with some freshmen to get playing time, but that is going to pay dividends this year when you have young players that have the game experience and aren't going to be surprised by anything they see on the varsity level this year.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at once when you're playing younger guys, is getting those valuable reps. And those kids got a ton of valuable reps, and I'm sure there'll still be some surprises out on the varsity floor for them. But I think we're going to be able to hit the ground running a little bit quicker than we did last year. But then also in the same sense, we also have a couple of other boys that maybe didn't get the experience last year, but they might be called upon this year to get some varsity experience.
Talking about that too, and the boys got a chance to play last year, but it was no doubt an odd year, and I think that's the case for a lot of sports last year. Talking about that community support and getting that kind of fan support back into Columbiana, and we know the Clipper faithful, when there's good teams on the floor, getting that Clipper clap going is something to behold in that gymnasium. How much is that going to mean to the boys and to this team to have sort of that fan support come back in more capacity than what we saw last year?
Oh, that's going to be, huge for not only the boys, but the community to come back into, Richard Berryman Gymnasium and to be able to, support the boys and have that community support. We've always had, great support at our high school games. And, I want that, I feel so sad for the boys in a sense from last year that they didn't get that experience. Those seniors didn't get that experience, the pep band, the student sections and all that stuff. So I'm really hoping that we're going to be able to do that this year. And I think we're gonna pack that gymnasium a couple of nights as well.
Coach, talking about that gymnasium, every time I go in and I look around, I think it's a very unique gym because it feels big, but it's not. So that crowd can really get on you in a hurry. Talk about what it's like having that home court advantage and what that crowd kind of brings to you guys and what makes it such a unique floor.
Well, like you said, it's got to feel a big, but it's not it doesn't play big, I guess is what you could say. It's huge to have the support of the community, the students behind you, yelling, screaming, doing the Clipper clap, stomping, getting up and down. It can really pay dividends for us.
How does your mentality as a coach change when you talked about having 8 seniors and you're going to be competitive and this is going to be a year? Talk to me about how you kind of have to flip that switch when you go from a competitive year to kind of a rebuilding year and just a developing year for these younger guys to get them back to that competitive side of things.
So, walking into last year, we kind of knew where we're at. We only had 2 seniors, Dalton Whitehair and Tyler Anderson. And we knew we would be playing a lot of boys, getting their first reps. But, I guess our mentality didn't change, so to speak. We always wanted to compete, always wanted to do well. I said at the beginning last year, I know our team is going to be a much different team towards the end of the year. And we were. and we competed well and we played hard. So it's just the consistent, day in and day out at practice, the mentality of buying in, of getting after it, of selling out and playing hard for the front of the jersey and being a team.
We all know how competitive that EOAC can be and how scrappy these games can turn into. Talk about the league this year, what you expect from the teams, and how you expect to compete in it.
Well, I think the EOAC is going to be, very balanced. There are some big seniors that graduated last year, awesome teams. Southern they're the champs until someone can knock them down. So, I'm sure they're going to come back and be very competitive. I look at Wellsville, Coach Thompson. He always does a great job down there. His boys are always ready to play. Another Coach Thompson out in United. They have a lot coming back. So, they're going to be very competitive as well. Valley Christian is another one that, did well in the league this past year. So there's a multitude of teams that, night in and night out, it's going to be a competitive league.
What is the biggest thing I think you want to see improvements on, and the biggest thing I think you have seen improvements on in the offseason that you've noticed from your team and that you think is going to be much improved from the end of last year to the beginning of this year? Well,
just having a summer was huge for us to be able to go to camps, go to shootouts, and those various things. It was great to see growth and development out of our young guys during those games during the summer. Now, summer ball is obviously a lot different than winter ball, but we did a better job of on the defensive side of things, which is something I always preach. We did a better job of taking care of the basketball, and just like any coach, that's where you want to start is taking care of the ball, not turning it over, and playing a good solid defense.
I love that you went into the style of games you're going to play. We all know that the style of basketball can change from year to year based on what kind of assets you have, what skills all the boys in the team have. What kind of style do you think is going to come out of the Clippers this year? What kind of brand of basketball do you think we're going to see from Columbiana?
I want to get back, and I think we will get back to more of our tempo type basketball, more of an up tempo type basketball. I want to get back to our defensive side of things. I've always been a big proponent on a defense first type mentality, because defense can carry you. Sometimes there might be some nights that you're not shooting the ball well, the ball's not going in, so you got to lean on the other side of the floor. So I think you're going to see an up tempo, hardworking defensive first type mentality out of Columbiana.
Talking about that too, that's obviously all in the culture that you've gone to try to build at this school, coach, and I think you've done a great job. If I ask your boys, what does it mean to be a Columbiana Clipper, what do you hope they say?
It's pride. It's pride in knowing who's come before you and knowing what kind of legacy you're going to leave. It's pride, walking through and on that gym floor and giving it your all. So I hope the boys have a sense and feel that pride, just as I do as an alum, every day when we take that floor at practice and on the games.
What kind of thing? What kind of image do you kind of want your boys to learn, or lessons do you guys want to learn outside of the basketball court when they go through your program and they graduate out of your program? What kind of things do you want them to take away from being coached by you?
Well, I hope one of the bigger things they take away is preparation. It's something that I kind of hammer the point home on is preparing for anything in life. So I hope they take away preparation. I hope they take away just being prepared and on time for your daily your daily tasks. So I hope, I guess the biggest thing is preparation for the next, their next steps.
Coach, my final question for you is more or less a meet the staff kind of question. We got a chance to meet your team and introduce the culture a little bit to people who don't understand or don't know the Columbiana culture. But talking about the staff, shout out those assistants and some of those big proponents that are going to be helping you out along the way this season.
Our junior varsity coach, Jeff Hammond, he's a big part of, of what we do. He was actually my varsity coach when I was playing. Matt Liggett is, has been with me since day one at Columbiana, so he does a lot for us. Diego Valator as well is also on the high school staff, and then I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about our junior high staff, which plays big big dividends in building the program. And that's Nate Nesslerette and actually 2 former players, Quentin Cross and Ryan Foz, are going to be helping out at the 7th grade level this year.
I got to ask, and just to follow up to those assistants that you said, a lot of Columbiana lifers in there. Coach Hammond, he's been there for a long time. He was your coach. He coached the girls program for a while in between there. What does it mean to have so many coaches that kind of understand what the program is, what makes Columbiana special, and have a little bit more care with Columbiana because they've been in it for so long?
Well, I think that goes back to that whole pride sense that I was talking about a little bit, especially, with like you said, Columbiana lifers. I love that at each level of our program, even all the way down to, our youth program. We have, people that have been in the community that, that bleed Clipper and mentality, Clipper pride. And, it's just a little bit more of ownership and sense when it comes to that. So I absolutely love that, we have all that experience in that Clipper experience throughout our program.
Final question for you before we let you go. We already talked about how good it's going to be to get that community back in the gym. So I want to give you a chance to have a selling pitch to Columbiana fans on why they should come watch your boys play every Tuesday and Friday in Columbiana.
I
freeze frame.
Yep.
And,
oh, wait. Did we get you back, Coach?
Yeah, I'm here, boys. You still got me?
All right. Why don't we start that question over then?
Hey, technical difficulties. That's good stuff.
Welcome to Monday.
Well, so like I was saying, I hope we get the community to come out and see just how hardworking these boys are, how much they love the game of basketball, how much they love the community that they play for, and how hardworking and night in and night out they're going to give their best effort on that varsity floor.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us to help us kind of preview the Columbiana season. We look forward to covering you throughout the year, and we'll be sure to talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.